We are live. Welcome to our market update. It is November 14th. And I kind of put in the notes the first market update after the elections or second market update?
Yep, it's the second. We did the first one. We had numerous people crying. We had numerous people celebrating and then crying and celebrating, and then people confused, and then people walking in circles. And, it's not a political show. We're just here to talk about what can and what cannot happen and what may happen. And, if anyone's going to ask the question, is it going to be 2008 again? Let's hope so, because, man, will we become wealthy if it is.
Oh, well, yeah, properties drop. But so we're starting to see the active properties like we've talked about every year during the holidays. You start seeing inventory start trickling downwards. I think our peak in the last couple, like a month or so, was 4,600. Pending properties have gone up slightly. We'll probably see inventory go a little bit farther down as we get. I mean, I think last year we got to like 3,800, so we got under the 4,000.
I don't know. I mean, I think it's going to slow down, but I think that's just because a lot of people are, if you want to go into shadow inventory coming.
Yeah, I mean, there's for sure opportunities in the market. If you watched this last week, you'll see that basically the median price is kind of balancing out, which we were saying there's a real softening to the condo market, which still relatively is a softening to the condo market, and there's value to be had. I mean, I think we said it last year, and I'll say it every year. The holidays can be some of the best times to buy a property, especially if a property is not a shiny object. Right?
It's funny because you didn't bring Santa in there at all about delivering someone a good property, so I'm happy about that, Vinnie. But I will agree, it's like this is the time between now and January 1st that if you want a good deal.
I think we're going in and out with David right now. I think his internet's not the greatest, but he's frozen. So, yeah, I mean, something to think about too is with land, right? The value of land is just going higher and higher. I did a short video. There's an area in North Park that a third of an acre. I think they're putting 72 or 76 homes on that parcel right there. So, I mean, density levels are going higher and higher. So if you have the capacity to buy a property and you're looking to buy a condo, and maybe those numbers really max out the condo, but if you're on that edge where you can actually pay a little extra and get a house with the land that you own, that value can really be great, especially as density levels are going higher and higher.
It's funny you mentioned that the renovation stuff, Vinny, because a lot of people don't know that if you're a veteran, and we just had Veterans Day, there are veterans renovation loans where you can actually buy a home and 100% build on that vacant land and build a custom home.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I didn't know that. So what goes with that? So you can buy the land with.
It's a whole wrap of a loan. We buy the land outright with the VA loan, and then we finance the construction cost for you to renovate or build ground up your whole custom home on vacant land, which a lot of people don't utilize that here in San Diego because there's not a lot of vacant land. Like, think about it. When's the last time you saw vacant land around? And then if there was vacant land around in the San Diego area, is it affordable? So where I see a lot of this stuff going on, you see it in Riverside, you see it in Boulevard, you see it in areas like in Idlewild. You see it in areas.
All right, I think we lost you again. This is like back and forth, but now I'm kind of intrigued by it. There's definitely some questions that go into developing vacant land, because it sounds like those places that he's talking about, they're more suburbia, right? So it's cookie cutter house and then vacant land, cookie cutter house. So that might be. I lost you there, David. So the question.
That's I just want to give a shout out to world's worst service, Verizon and Spectrum. So if you want to get a cell phone or internet at your house, don't get Spectrum if you live in La Jolla area or Verizon, because it's absolutely terrible and doesn't work very often. And I'm not paid for this anti-endorsement about the beep service from Verizon and Spectrum, but I'm blessed to deal with it every day that doesn't work. So anyways, to go back.
The question I have with that, the land, right, the wraparound that you're talking about. So now, first off, the place that you're talking about, my assumption it's in suburbia. Where you're talking about basically a cookie cutter house, raw land, cookie cutter house, right? So it has to be in those kind of communities, correct?
It is. It's more. I mean, a lot of it. They do ground up construction on vacant land.
But let's say like
program.
But let's say like you're talking about like Julian, right? Where it's not cookie cutter house at all, right? And it's just like a raw land out there that there's not a house, or there's like a big house next to it, but it's not like as straightforward. Does that play a factor into the program?
It can't be manufactured housing, but if it's like let's say it's a house in Julian, as your example, that needs a lot of work, you can still do loans like that with the VA renovation loan. It just requires going through the proper permits, submitting the proper plans. It is not a short, quick close. It takes around 60 days to close the loan. And then usually the rebuild period is 8 to 10 months. And you can get an extension after that for 4 months as well.
So what kind of rate are you looking at on something like that?
Ooh, that's going to depend on the borrower. I mean, if you're going to start using like the 740 FICO as example, you'll probably get it at like 6.75, which is not bad. 6.875. That's actually really good for that sort of construction type loan.
So for people out there, right, you're probably talking about currently maybe like for VA 570, so maybe it's about a 1 percentage point higher.
For what do you mean
traditional VA loan? Huh?
What do you mean?
5.7. Sorry. 5.7, like interest rate right now for VA, somewhere around there.
No, that has gone up since the election, a quarter of a point. And if you go on the Mortgage News Daily, I know me and you use this all the time. You look at their rate, it says 6.3. Like today, I was at 5.875 APR, 6%. That's with no points charged. But it's lower than what you're seeing advertised. And even though
you're talking about the construction avenue is 6.8, so it's about a 1 percentage point higher.
Yeah, correct.
Okay. Someone's asking, Manuel's asking, is it harder to get a construction loan, I'm guessing, compared to a regular loan, using your VA eligibility?
It's more complicated, that's true. Because you do have to have, your contractor has to be vetted. We need 2 independent bids from 2 contractors to compare them. So that's the main thing right there. So it is harder to get it. But in reality, it's like if you can find that land, and I'm going to use Boulevard as an example because I'm doing a deal there right now. Boulevard was extremely cheap for someone that's buying like acreage and a house, and it's massively cheaper than anywhere else you get. Those are the areas where you could actually use that VA renovation. But even in San Diego, even if you're not a veteran, you can do renovation loans with FHA. You can do renovation loans Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac.
I don't think he's talking about necessarily, is it harder to find the property? I mean, more so probably, is it harder to qualify? Is the debt to income?
No, it's the same qualifications.
It's same qualifications. Okay, so
same debt to income ratios you have to have. You have to maintain debt to income ratios. With construction loans, you do have to have a reserve requirement. Sometimes you can finance a 10% reserve requirement into the loan. Sometimes they allow for that too as well. But overall, it's like, no, the qualifications are pretty similar. It's not like it's dramatically different.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I mean, that's good to know. I mean, that's a nugget. I mean, I knew about the FHA.
It's a great program. Like I said, hardly anyone uses it in San Diego because where do you run across a piece of vacant land that's affordable that you could actually buy the land and then put the house on it? But if you're looking,
you can find that, and you can find that, and it's all relative affordability. But I mean, knowing that you have VA eligibility to do that, especially with how the values are right now, you're not gonna get a killer deal, but I mean, there's for sure value out there. How much money do you need to put down on it?
Zero.
So
VA will do it with zero.
0 on the construction loan.
0 on the
Wow.
VA.
You know, I feel like I need like a mind blown emoji right now.
I'll just tell you, 95% of lenders will not even do it. It's been around since like 2008. No one did it back then. Hardly anybody does it now, because the problem you have is, yes, it's VA loan, but VA loan means it's government backed and insured. But the problem that you have is the secondary market where people buy loans is very low for those type of loans. Now I'm blowing everyone's mind. That was too complicated. So to put it in bigger perspective, it's just not many people do the loan because it's harder, but it's a great product.
You know what? Because it's so much knowledge dropped right there, we're going to finish it off with that. Please, guys, subscribe, reach out if you have questions. And I'm going to do an old goodie right there, old exit video. Actually, I'll do this one right here.